Hello Wheel Masters, and welcome to Mastering the Wheel. In today's video, I'm going to be using a strategy that has a really high win rate, and I'm going to be placing my bets in a way that can actually increase my chances of winning. So in this video, I'm going to explain exactly where I place my bets, how I place my bets, and why it can increase my chances of winning. But before we get into the video, if you guys don't mind hitting that subscribe button and the like button, it does help out the channel a great deal, and I do very much appreciate it, so thank you so much for that. Now let's get into the video. Okay, so I'm going to be using my program BetMaster to perform the bets for me. And if you've been watching the channel, you know I like to use this program to build custom progressions and to place bets for me. Now, if you're new to the channel, this is a really powerful roulette tool that I would never play roulette without. And as you just heard, I use it to place bets and build progressions. And that's one of the coolest features about this program is that you can build custom progressions and place bets that could normally be humanly impossible to do. And that's the kind of betting we're going to be doing today. So I'm going to build a custom progression right in front of you. And this is actually really simple in its design, but it's super powerful. So I'm going to show you exactly how I do that right now. So we're going to go into the Bets tab, and I'm going to go Create. And I'll name it and get into the bankroll details after, but for now, we're just going to go to Progression Levels and start building. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be betting on 24 numbers. Now, we could normally just bet on, 24 or 2 columns. But rather than that, we're going to be selecting individual numbers, which I think is pretty impossible for a person to do, or at least at an online casino with the amount of time that they give us to place 24 individual number bets, especially if you go deeper into the progression and there's many denominations required. So I'm going to select single numbers from that drop down. And just before I forget, I'm also going to change this group win condition to any group wins. I wouldn't want to keep it on independent because then that would make each number operate on its own progression, and we don't want that. So any group wins. So that means it'll reset back to level 1 if any number hits. And I'm going to leave this on hottest. Now, I'm going to explain more about this later in the video, but this really is the secret sauce to this strategy. So like I said, I'll explain more about that in the video. Now, next, we're just going to select this to 24. That's how many numbers we're going to be betting on. And I'm going to be placing dollar units. Actually, no, sorry, 50-cent units. That'll be the starting bet. And now level 1 is set. We're going to leave the when win condition at reset to level 1 if it wins, and the when lose condition, we're going to go to the next level if it loses. Okay, so I can save that level, and now all I have to do is copy that level, and we don't have to edit much now because that's an exact replica. I'm just going to change the value of the second level bet. So we want a full recovery. We want to recover quick, and we just want to move on. So we're going to be making the bets triple on each level. So for level 2, it's going to be a 3-unit bet. And for level 3, we're going to make that 9. Level 4 will be 27. And now level 5 is going to be the last level. And this is going to be an 81-unit bet. And I'm talking in units because you can scale this down to whatever you want. You can use 10-cent starting unit if you wanted to. We're using a 50-cent starting unit. We're looking to make about $150 with this progression right now, which is going to be about 10% of our bankroll. And I'll get into that in just a minute. So I'm going to actually, I almost saved that. Before I do save it, I have to click this when lose condition. So at the last level, we don't want it to continue. If we do lose, we want it to stop betting. So I'm going to place this to stop placing bets. Now I can save this level, and I'll save the whole profile, and then I'm going to go show you something here. In the Edit tab again, I'm going to come back to Preview Risk Analysis, and now in this window you can see here, so this is our cumulative loss. If we lose at level 5, that's going to be the risk. So this is the bankroll required, 1452. Okay, so I'm just going to go back into General Settings and set the stop loss to 1452. And I'm going to change the stop win to, we're going to go for, it's just over 10% of the bankroll. We're going to say $150. And the total bankroll, again, 1452. And let's just call this hottest 12. Oops. Or sorry, hottest 24. We're betting on 24 numbers. Hottest 24. Okay, I'll go ahead and save the profile. And now So the progression is all set. It's built and ready to go, but now we are betting on hottest. So we're going to need some data to fall back on so we kind of know where we're at in the game. So I'm going to set that up right now. First, I'm going to start collecting data so that my program can read numbers. And then next, I'm going to go ahead and grab this history right here. So this is really simple to do. I just need to open up my snippet tool. And I'm going to take a screenshot of these numbers right here. Now this is 88 numbers. I'll just save that. And now I can add the results. And that'll be right in here. Okay. And there we can see detected 88 spins, so I've got them all. And now my history bar just populated with all the spins, and we're going to just add one more. You see one more number just came up while we were doing this. In fact, let me see, 22. Yeah, we just need to get that number 20. Okay, so just add 20, and you'll see it just jump in line there. And that's it. We're done with that. We can put this back to the way it was and put the GUI in place. Okay, now we're all set to go. There's just a couple more things I have to do to get set up here. I do have to start up a session. And so we'll call the session the same thing as the progression. Hottest 24. Oh, I already have one like that. I've used this before. We'll call it, what am I doing here? Hottest 24 demo. Yeah, this is a strategy that I use. It's an extremely powerful way to make easy money. Now, there's no guarantees it's going to win. There's no such thing as a guaranteed strategy, but this is a good money maker. And I'll set the bankroll to 1452. And I'm just going to adjust my sample size as well. I'm going to make this 74 spins, and we'll talk more about that in the video as well, but that's the sweet spot. And I also have to set up my individual numbers to hot. Okay. One last thing to do, and then we're going to start placing some bets. So one of the most powerful features about this program is that we can actually test progressions at the live wheel. Now, I play with real money with this strategy all the time, but let's say you guys hear about a strategy that you're not sure about, or you wanted to test this one, and you just want to make sure that it works out well for you. So we can actually test our strategies at the live wheel without putting any real money at risk. And so I'm going to be showing that today. And by doing that, or to do that, I just have to go into this Play Money tab and click on this button right here. Now that's going to prevent my cursor from placing any real bets on the table. And it's kind of like a simulation mode. Okay, so we're going to be doing that today. And one last thing now, and that's to activate the progression. Once I click this, the progression is live, and as soon as the next spin result is detected, it'll start placing bets. Now, you'll see my cursor move around the actual roulette table, but it's not going to be placing real chips on the table. It's just going to be clicking, but as I said, with that activate safety mode on, the clicks aren't going to register on the screen. But what you are going to see is the history window here populate with the bets that it did place. Okay. Now, if that safety mode was not on, then it would actually be placing real bets. And here it goes. Okay, so it just placed 50-cent bets on all of these numbers right here. Okay, so these are the hottest 24 numbers, and you can see them here on the heat map. Now, the brightest ones are obviously the numbers that are the hottest, and what hottest really means is any number that's come up more than its statistical probability. So on a single zero roulette wheel, it has a chance of 1 in 37 spins. So any red number has come up more than 1 in 37 spins on average within this sample size window right here, within 74 spins. And anything blue has come up less than 1 in 37, and anything gray, you see there's some gray numbers there, have come up exactly 1 in 37. Okay. Now, what just came up? 26, and that was a hot number, so there's a first win. So we win $6 per win. And like I said, our financial target is going to be $150. Now that's just over 10% of the bankroll, but I do have to say that that is not the be all end all stop win. That's kind of like, I call it a soft target. I do have a hard target, and that hard target is determined by spins, because every progression has a probability of failing. And I use a formula to figure out what that probability is, and this lets me know what the risk profile of any strategy can be. And then when I get that final number, in this case, I know that this strategy has a failure rate of 1 in 286 spins. Now that's on average, right? It's not like it's going to fail exactly every 286 spins. It can fail 5 or 6 times in 286 spins, or it can fail, once in 1,000 spins. But it kind of gives us just an idea of how risky the strategy is, and lets us know maybe what kind of window we should operate in. If something has a risk probability of 1 in 286 spins, it's probably not going to fail twice in 50 spins, for example. The bigger that number is, that 1 in X amount of spins, the wider apart the failure rate is going to be, because it has less of a chance of happening, right? Does that make sense? So with a 1 in 286 spin average failure rate, what we're going to be doing is taking 20% of that number and applying it to our strategy. So 20% of 286, I just rounded it to 45 spins. So we're not going to be staying for longer than 45 spins. Essentially, at 45 spins, whether we've made our financial target or not, we leave. Now, if we hit our financial target before 45 spins, great. We leave then. But no matter what, 45 spins is the length of time we're going to spend at the wheel. And that's how we can protect our bankroll, essentially, because, as you know, the longer you spend at a wheel, the higher your chances are of losing your bankroll, right? So by profiling your strategies, you give yourself that knowledge base to know, hey, this is going to be risky beyond this point, so I might as well leave. It gives you a solid number to work with. And okay, so we've been up and down right now. We just lost that last one, and we're looking for a recovery. As you can see, we're on level 2 of this progression. Now this program is packed with all kinds of features, and that formula that I just told you about, the risk profile, so the program actually provides that to you. Now, I do have to say, it only works, so you'll only get that number from the program if your progression is straightforward. And what I mean by straightforward is it's not really like the wheel coverage. There's not many bet groups, I guess. If we've only got one bet group, we're only betting on individual numbers as one bet group, and so it's really easy to figure out, the wheel coverage is 24 numbers, and we have 5 attempts. It's really straightforward, right? So I'm going to show you right after this bet that the risk profile that the program gives us. And if, like I said, so if we had multiple bet groups, like if we were betting on dozens and columns and say corners or something, and they were each following their own progression, then that math just gets really complex, and it's hard to get an exact probability. So we start having to use, estimates based on what we already know if we have a complex progression like that. But when they're straightforward like this, it's very easy to figure out. And there we go. We just got that last win. Now let me just go into the risk button here. And so we can get a full detailed analysis of what our strategy is and how it can perform, or how we can expect it to perform based on the math of the coverage and the attempts. And if I go over here into win probabilities and scroll down, it says right here, total spins before ruin, 286. And that's the number that we're looking for. That'll tell you the risk profile of your strategy. So if you're betting on 12 numbers with 9 attempts, you'll get a number there that'll tell you on average how often that coverage with that many attempts should fail. Take 20% of that, and that creates that window that you should operate in. Now, I've made videos explaining how you can use this formula. I provide the formula to you and show you how you can just plug in the numbers of your system and figure it out. So go back in my channel and check out those videos. And I'll try to remember to put a link in the bottom of this video for one of the videos that explains that, because using that formula is extremely powerful when it comes to understanding what the risk is of your strategy and when you should leave. One of the biggest mistakes I think roulette players make is saying, I want to make $200 today. Or, you set a financial target. And the bigger question is, can your strategy handle or wait long enough for you to make $200, right? So understanding the risk of your strategy is absolutely great knowledge to go by, so that way you can leave before the math catches up to you, essentially. What I mean by the math catching up to you is, the probability of your progression failing. And I'm just going to check what level we're on. I think we're on level 3 right now. We're on level 3. And we just hit the 12, which is a hot number, so that's a full recovery, and we'll just go right back to level 1. Now, considering we're covering 65% of the wheel, we've actually got a pretty low win rate right now. We're only winning on average 44% of the time. So, it's a bit below average. And just because we're betting on the hot numbers doesn't mean we're always going to hit a hot number. Of course, there are other numbers on the wheel that have the same probability. But when I bet on the hot numbers, so just going back to what I said in the beginning, how I would explain how this can make a difference is when we're betting on the hot numbers, we're essentially trying to follow a trend. Now, roulette is random in the sense that, we just don't know what's going to happen next, right? You can't predict the next number or the next pattern or whatever. We don't know when 10 in a row is going to come, and we don't know when it's going to come twice. I can tell you what the math is on 10 in a row expected to come twice, but I don't know if it's going to happen twice that 1,000 spins or not going to happen for 2,000 spins. But when we're betting on the hot numbers, what I'm trying to say is there's sometimes a bias mixed into that. Now, it's impossible to tell the difference between what's randomly hot or what's hot because of a bias. So my whole philosophy is just bet where the ball is landing. And if there's a bias in there, then you can profit from it. And for some reason that the math can't explain, sometimes a ball is just landing more in a certain number or sector of the wheel than anywhere else. So why not place your bets there, right? I know that there's a school of thought out there that, if a number hasn't come up in a certain amount of time, it's due. I absolutely don't believe that. And that's because if it's cold for some reason, right? Either just random selection, which, that's roulette, or because of the bias. Excuse me just one second. This is, I forgot to reset the page before this happened. As I'm sure you know, if you're inactive on a site, they give you this inactivity pause or the boot. But yeah, so the idea is to just, like I said, place your bets where the ball is landing, and you can at least take advantage of a bias if there is one. So that's why I do find in the long term, I do tend to win more when I place my bets where the ball is landing. And that's how I'm able to keep my win rate higher than expected on average. Like when I'm using the strategy, I should win about 66% of the time over the long run, kind of no matter what. Like today, maybe we're going to finish at 55% today. Who knows? But maybe we finish at 70%, right? But with the data that I've collected over the long run, when I use any strategy, I keep track of my win rate, and it's consistently higher. I'm consistently winning higher than expected over a larger sample of sessions. And it's really important to keep track of that kind of data of your sessions too, just so you can tell how well you're doing. And ever since I've been tracking data and doing different things, it's absolutely improved my game. And this program helps me do that because after every session, it's got every spin stored in its memory. And as long as you grab that data before you start a new session, because every new session when you start with this program, it removes the previous data and starts fresh. So I grab that data after every session and I store it in a file, and I'm always keeping track of how I do so I can maybe make improvements to my game. I've pretty much tweaked it, I think, as much as I can, but I still look at it because I'm always looking for an edge. And that really, and you know what? The biggest edge in roulette is knowing when to leave. And that's what that formula does for me. You're not going to change the house edge. The house edge is there, but it doesn't have to affect you. You can leave before it catches up to you, right? The odds of something are happening. It doesn't mean you have to be there when it happens, right? Does that make sense? So is the house edge beatable? Absolutely not. Is roulette beatable? Absolutely. You just have to know when to leave. Now, this doesn't guarantee you're going to win every time, and it doesn't guarantee that the house edge isn't going to catch up with you sometimes. Of course it is, right? We're playing in a game it's basically random. But again, understanding your risk profile and leaving before the edge catches up to you is really the biggest edge you can get when it comes to playing roulette. And let's see, how are we doing? We're doing not bad. We're on level 2 right now. We had a maximum session high so far of $42, and we are in 15 spins. We're on spin 16 now. So just under 30 spins left to this session. And another advantage to playing like when we're betting on the hot numbers is it keeps your bets dynamic, right? We're following the heat, and whether it's random heat or bias heat, we're moving our bets around, and so it prevents certain I guess probabilities from catching up to us. Like if you're always betting on, say, just black, you're going to lose 48.6% of the time, right across the board. You do have an expected negative EV, and it's going to catch up to you. But if you're moving your bets around, it keeps them dynamic, and especially if you're following the trends as I do, if there is a bias trend, you're going to be able to take advantage of that. And the number 4 is a cold number. Yeah, so we're only winning 50% of the time right now, but we're still ahead. Really, so we have 5 levels to this progression. We really only need to win 1 in 5 spins. So we need a 20% win rate just to stay in the game. Now, that would be really low and very unusual to have that kind of percentage, in the long run for betting on 66 or 65% of the wheel. It's possible, sure, but very unusual. And 15, oh, another cold number. So we're going to be moving to level 3 now. I think, just looking at the chart, I think level 3 is the deepest we've gone into this progression so far. We haven't really had a good win streak. It's been like win-lose, win-lose. So Betmaster is going to be released. It's going to be available on March 6th. I've announced the release date officially, but just reminding everybody, and if you're new to the channel, the program that I'm using right now is going to be available on March 6th, Thursday at midnight, however you want to look at it, or Friday, the time, 0000, the first minute of Friday. I'm going to be dropping a video on YouTube that's going to have the website where you can find the program and download it, and some basic instructions on how to get started. And when you get to the website, after you've downloaded the program, there's a full tutorial suite that will explain everything. So when you do get the program, make sure you watch all of the tutorials, and that'll show you how to get up and running. And if you had any questions, if you have any feedback, or if you had any difficulty setting it up, it's no problem. I'm going to be live on Discord. The link will also be on the website in the What's New section. And just come to my Discord. I'm going to be starting at 11 o'clock Saturday morning, and join me. And I'm going to be there to help anybody out, answer any questions, accept any feedback. And feedback for this program is really important to me because it's going to be you guys that help shape the future of Betmaster. I've tried to think of everything, but I can't. I did what I find works for me and the way I like to play and bet, and it's got so many features in it. And I tried to think of what other people would like, but I truly don't know what you like. So if you have any suggestions on things that might improve your experience and enhance how you play, a different way you want to track something, let me know, and I can write the code and put it in. I update the program. I'll be updating the program every month, and I've been thinking about, I'm hoping I get so many suggestions from you guys, I don't know what to do with them. So, of course, I'd like to put them in, but I can't put them in all at once. So after I get a ton of suggestions, I would like to put them up on the website and have you guys vote on them. And the update that gets the most votes, then or the feature that gets the most votes, I will use that to update it for the next month. So it'll all be community driven. I really want you guys to take part in the future development of the program. So very cool, very exciting. I can't wait to grow this community. It's going to be a lot of fun. And not only just have to keep on going on the Discord part of it, I'm not only going to be on Discord on Saturday the 7th, but every 2 weeks I'm going to be on Discord to help anybody out, to talk, to take feedback, just to join the community and see how you guys are doing. I want to hear your stories, and yeah, we'll just hang out for a couple of hours every other Saturday. And as goes for any kind of help, if you need one-on-one help, that's also available. You'll see how you can do that on the website. So it's available to tier 3 members. So if you're subscribed to Betmaster at the tier 3 level, then you can get one-on-one help. Just you put in a support ticket, and if you need any kind of help at all, put in the support ticket. I get the request, and then I'll set up a time that we can meet on Discord, and we'll meet privately, and we can talk about whatever you're having an issue with or whatever you want to know, and resolve it. I really want to be there for you guys and make sure that you guys use this program and get the maximum benefit from it, because this is a really powerful roulette tool. It's changed the way I play roulette, and I would never play roulette without it. I've been using this tool now, well, since I started developing it for the last 3 years, and I absolutely love it. It can do things that are, well, for one, it gives us a perspective of the wheel that we would never get anywhere else. It monitors the live wheel in real time. I don't have to input any numbers. It places bets for me where I don't have to. It removes emotion from the game, essentially, right? I go in with a plan. I build the progression that I want to play with. So I build the plan and I let the program execute the bets for me, and I'm in and out. I make my money. And it even places, like you can see today, we're betting on 24 of the hottest numbers. Two things there. It's impossible for our human mind to track the last 24 hot numbers over the last X amount of spins. And to place 24 individual bets on the wheel before that clock runs out, I mean, good luck, right? So, and there we go. We were down to level 3, and we just hit that 16 again. And you can look on the history there. That 16 has hit 3 times in the last, 11 spins. Random? I don't know. Bias? I don't know. I don't care. It hit 3 times. I won all 3 times, right? So, and let's see. So where are we at in the game now? We're at 25 spins. So we have 20 more spins left in this session, and we have $78 in our profit. So we're not doing bad. We're, halfway to our target. Around halfway in our spin window. And the number 9 is a cold number. God, I wish we could go on a winning streak. We've only got a 52% average, which is actually quite low. Even if we were just betting on random numbers, 52% would be fairly low. 50 after that last spin. So yeah, we don't have a very good win rate right now. But like I said, we only need to win 1 in 5. What I do find different, though, about betting on the hot numbers is, so for example, when you're betting on, say, red or black, you might see a streak of 10 red or 10 black, or more. I've seen a lot more than that. But you see those streaks. What I find, like, for example, when I'm using my progression, when I bet on the hottest 18, I've only ever seen a streak of 11 cold numbers once. And I mean, I've seen tens of thousands of spins using that progression. I can't say the same when I see tens of thousands of spins betting on red or black. On average, 10 red or 10 black will come up once every 1,000 spins. And that's pretty much, like, not on cue, but if you sit there for a day and watch the roulette results, you're going to see a run of 10 come up at least once. Okay? I can't say the same about 10 cold numbers. That it's an extremely rare event when I'm betting on hot numbers and for a streak of 10 of the cold numbers to come up. So that says something to me about betting on the hot numbers. Now, like I said, it doesn't work out all the time, but it works out a lot more than it doesn't. And that's really the key, and that's what my data has shown me. And there we go. We just had a full recovery, and we're back down to level 1. And, so we've been to level 3 now 4 times. if you've been watching the channel, you'll know that the way we can look at the wheel in the advanced stats tab. But if you're new to the channel, we can really get a perspective of the wheel that you're not going to get anywhere else. Like you're seeing right now with the hot numbers, right? We're looking at individual numbers right now, and we have this GUI. In fact, before I show you the different views, I'm going to show you the type of data that we track right now. And so, for example, the number 10 is the hottest number, and we can see that here it's one of the brightest red numbers, followed by the other bright red numbers, which are also going to be at the top of the list. And then it tells us how many hits. Now, this is over the spin window we're looking at here, 74 spins. And the max drought, what that is the longest the number has gone without being hit. It was hit last 2 spins ago, and on average, the number 10 has been hitting once every 18 spins. So it tracks that kind of information for each of the wheel sectors. So in this case, we're looking at individual numbers. But we can look at, for example, we can look at splits. Now, we haven't been watching this monitor, so I'm going to go ahead and update it. And, it didn't really do much. But basically, the red borders around the numbers, the more red it is, the hotter the split. And we've got like the coldest split right here. It's blue, right? We can look at streets. I'm just going to update that. Now, this updates with every spin. But if you're not on the screen, and we're between spins like we were now, I just manually updated it. But you'll see right now, one of the colors is probably going to change a shade as soon as that spin gets registered. Yeah, we just saw the around the second street got updated. We saw the color change on it. But so what we're looking at right now is the hottest streets. And we are on level 3 again. And then I love the corner perspective. This is really cool. And so if I were betting on corners today, I'd be betting in this area right here. And it shows you the exact corners to bet on. These are the ones that have been hitting the most frequently in this session. And then, of course, we've got double streets, right? So it just gives you this perspective that you wouldn't see anywhere else and lets you know where the ball has been landing. And 14. Oh, there we go. For the first time, we're going down to level 4. So we're on our second last attempt. So let's go hottest 24. Yeah, that's a really low win rate, 50%. That doesn't happen very often. And what are we going to get here? Number 19, and ouch. Okay, so we're going down to our last attempt. Now, of course, it's possible to lose, but we do have this attempt. So let's see what happens. We are betting on 65% of the wheel. Hottest 24. We have a $972 bet down right now. That's $40.50 on each number. So the bets do get high, but the chances of winning, again, I mean, and we're going for full recovery. So the risk is high, but the recovery is instant. And the number 2, we do have the number 2 covered. So there's a full recovery. Whew! Thank goodness. And we're at 34 spins right now, so we have 11 more spins in this session, and we're at $102. So, I mean, there's a chance we might not get our financial target, which is perfectly fine. I'd rather leave with a little bit of money than try to get it all and lose all of my money, right? And this is another advantage to using the play money feature is if you're testing out new systems, you can just run them over and over again and see what works best for you. Definitely keep track of the data because that's how you're going to be able to track and actually see. Because, before I started collecting data, often we have a perception of how things are, and then there's how things actually are. And when I started comparing my perception to the data, I realized, boy, was I wrong. And yeah, so tracking data absolutely lets you know how well you're doing in reality, and then you can make some adjustments based on what the data is telling you. And the data is very easy to find. I'm not going to do it now because I have to unlock play money mode in order to click on things. But right over here, if we open this open data folder, it'll open up basically the folder where all of the data is collected for the program. And then in there you can grab the numbers file, and it'll tell you at the end of the session Or even right now, if I open up that file at this point, it would tell me the percentage each number that we've seen here has hit, and it has an entire list of numbers that have hit. And then you can do what you want with the data. You can figure out, I mean, basically whatever you want. It doesn't organize it in any specific way in terms of that whole list of numbers. All it's just it's the raw data essentially, right? And then you can sort of look at it from whatever lens you want to. How many runs of 3 came up, or how often did a run of 10 come up, or things like that. And notice we have a bet on 0 right now, even though it's blue. So it is at the back end of our hot list. So we've only got so many red numbers and then so many gray numbers. And between the red and the gray, it still didn't add up to 24 numbers. It just keeps on going down the list until it's got the 24 most frequently hit numbers. And 30, that's a gray number. So since we're already betting on blue numbers, we've got all the gray and all the red numbers covered. And how many blue numbers are being covered there? Let's see. 32. No, okay, so yeah, basically 0 is the only blue number that's being covered. 32 is, so this, when these bets get placed up here, this is in order of heat. So 16 is the hottest, most frequently hit number, and you can even see that on the list right here. It's been hit 4 times in the last 74 spins, and on average been hit once every 18 spins. And the 0 is at the back of the list. So it's of all of the hot numbers, it's the coldest of the hot. And we hit the number 2, which was a hot number. $126. So we're almost at our target right now. We have, let me see, 21, 31, 41. Okay, so we're at 39 spins. So we have 6 spins left. So unless we hit all 6 in a row, we're probably not going to make our financial target, and we are going to stop at the 45th spin. Now, I will say that if we're in the middle of a progression, and we need to reset back to level 1, and we happen to be, say, at level 3 at 45 spins, then we're just going to keep on going until we reset, and hopefully we reset. But that's kind of the rule that I set for myself. If I'm in the middle of a progression at that spin threshold, then I'll see the progression through. Once we reset back to level 1, then you're done. And hopefully that's not the one that you lose at. I mean, if you really wanted to be safe, because the progression has 5 levels, we're about 5 levels or 5 spins away from being done. So we could stop now saying, okay, there's not enough room to go through the progression, and we can stop now, really. But for the sake of the video, we're just going to go right ahead and just see this through to the 45th spin or into the progression until it's done. And we are at level 2 right now. We have 4 spins left. Oh, one more time out. I get so busy at talking, I completely forget to check that time and reset before that happens. And 36, so there's another cold number. So we are going to level 3. And you know what? If I were playing for real money right now, so we're getting so close. We're only 3 spins away from our spin target. So I am going to stop it. Once we reset this level, then we're going to call it quits, and we're going to take our money and run. And that'll be, by the looks of it, we're going to make $138 this session. So not quite 150, but this is the smart decision. Okay, this is how you should do it. And 27. Oh, another cold number. So I believe this was level, yeah, this was level 3. So we're going to go down to level, we're in level 4 right now. And looking for a hot number. We have 2 more attempts. Let's see. And that win rate, it never really climbed. We were still at about 51.2, which is a bit below average. I mean, we're supposed to be at about 65%, so. And, oh, that 28. Okay, so here we go, guys. So this is another do or die. We're at level 5 for the second time in this progression, which is also rare. This isn't a typical session. This actually isn't going as well as they usually do, but it's good because we can test the durability of the system, right? Now, of course, the system can fail. It does fail. It has failed. I've lost money using this system. There's no such system that doesn't fail. But I just, like I said in the beginning, I do find betting on the hot stuff tends to, in the long run, make a bigger difference for me, and I have less losses overall. And the number 2, look at that, a full recovery. So I'm going to go ahead and stop the progression now. If I hadn't stopped that, it would have kept on going and keep on placing bets until the financial target is hit. I actually don't have a stop win when it comes to spins, so I manually have to stop it myself. But maybe that'll be an idea for a future update. So there we have it, guys. You saw the progression run through. I stopped it at $138 because we did hit our spin window exactly at 45 spins, and the session wasn't really going that well anyways, so why stick around and see what's going to happen, right? It's not worth the extra $12. I made $138. So let me know what you guys think of the system, of the program that I'm using, and leave a comment down below. I want to know what's on your mind, and if you have any questions about the program, feel free to ask. I answer everybody, and I look forward to hearing from you. On that note, guys, you have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next video. Take care, and bye for now.
Running simulations while they sleep at night. Risk analysis got my bankroll tight. Progression stacking, watch the profit climb. Betmaster turning roulette into mine. Zero green, that's the dealer's dream. But my system breaking through their scheme. Red and black, I see the patterns form. Data-driven thunder, I'm the perfect storm.